Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good afternoon. Welcome to another bit of Fallout New Vegas for today. We're hoping to finish off on a start. My bad, I'm just curious. Do you have any more information to tell me about your tribe?
Visions guide you. You listen?
So, as a bit of a recap,
Yes.
we've come this far out to find the Burned Man. And we had originally actually come to oh, black coffee, nice. Tobacco and honey, nice. Okay, yeah. So we'd actually come here to escort a trading caravan, and unfortunately it was destroyed by the Whitelegs tribals, and now we're actually here to fight them off.
We pass like moonlight on still water.
So, yeah. Here I have a Yaguai claw. Let's use a stealth armor for this one. Sapper.
Let's move on. I found them.
Beautiful beat down there.
Messy business. I am.
What's that then? Inflict damage by those things. Reduce the AP cost of unarmed attacks and VATs.
Glad it's over.
Not bad at all.
Here they are. Yield.
You can kumpa me.
Look at that, ain't it fast? Yeah, it's strong. You don't really see many assault rifles in this, in Fallout New Vegas. You see a lot of submachine guns.
I'll fight you if I must.
Oh, I can't wait to do the optional stuff. Okay then. Yeah. So we want the cave, right? Nice. Right, now I can continue. I want to go for the speed of all melee attacks and armed attacks is increased by 30%. I might actually go for that one. Because I think in the next expansion, or World Blues, yeah, you kind of want The higher speed. Melee attacks, because apparently there's, from what I remember, there's some really good melee weapons in that.
Yaoguai. Even our strongest hunters could not hope to kill so many. There must be a nest nearby. Fighting so many at once is a dangerous prospect, unless you are a truly mighty warrior.
Bam.
This many so close together suggests a nest nearby. If we find it and destroy it, we might have better luck.
I don't do that.
Did Daniel not give you some of the new Canaanites' fire clay? That could easily collapse a cave and trap the beasts inside. Look,
Oh, sorry. Skipped ahead.
I hope that is truth and not a boast. But I will respect your leadership. I'll fight you if I must.
Do I have any more mods for that? No. That's fair enough.
Oh, Father, guide and protect us, your humble children, as we labor in the vineyards, and make us strong to resist those who would steal Zion from us.
Fire clay. You know, I'm sorry, that's another idea for a Lancer character. Like, you know, some tribal character. Because like that is sort of a thing. Like you can have like the Inuit tribes and whatnot, as like using like their mechs for like hunting, hunter-gatherer societies and whatnot. Place some explosives there. And some more. Yes, these explosives aren't good for combat. So, yeah. You have to use them here. Okay, fair enough. You're the biggest. So you have to die.
Let's move on. I don't like to linger in this place.
I just wonder what it looked like from stealth. So the muzzle flash isn't reduced any. So, please keep in mind, you know, I'm always making these videos for my daily list, so there may be some things that might seem obvious to you that I don't explain elsewhere. And I don't want to talk to people like they're idiots either. Automatic lighting, right, the full look is completed. I can wear a rebreather as well. Yes! I can wear my rebreather in addition to my authority glasses and Power Ranger hat. Yeah. So when I talk about muzzle flash, the muzzle flash is this. The little light at the end of the gun. And that's called the muzzle. You can also get an accessory called the muzzle brake at the end, which I think stabilizes the weapon. Is that a compensator? Where it adds extra weight to prevent the gun from flying up, because there's a weight at the end. It makes sure it doesn't jump up as much. But muzzle brakes, I think they spread the spread of bullets, or they can also like muzzle concealers. So, yeah. Well, I do like that New Vegas was made by someone who actually wanted to get into firearms, and nope, all the markers is not here. Yeah, New Vegas was made by someone who wants to get into weapons, and they went to the range quite often to learn firearms. I think I previously called it method. Yes, thank you.
Daniel says that it is holy in the eyes of the Father.
It's what I call method game design. The idea that like you actually go out of your way to truly research the things that you're doing, like the things you're doing. Is it telling me to put the C4 on the ceiling? Among the... Yeah, I don't quite know where this is pointing me. I'll have to use the local map. Ah, maybe I have to go there, but I need to get up there. So we have to go the other way, okay. Yeah. So it's nice when game devs actually know what they're talking about when they make their things. Well, I'm by no means a good nut. I do want to join a shooting club. Not far from me, but it's just getting there, that's the problem. Yeah. I am such a fangirl about lever action rifles. And they have them there, I'm like, oh. But I need... there's a few things they want that I don't have right now, so like, okay, fair enough. Money being one of them, but yeah. But I don't know. If I had a thought, I might actually try and get some stuff sorted for my birthday and then maybe go there. It's a bit of a birthday treat or something. Treat myself. Take my darling dearest, maybe. Just imagine the targets, me, and my fat head. Where's it go now? I'm still trying to decipher this. Oh, here. Right, and then it's time to go to the exit. Right. I understand now. It isn't that way anyway. Did I explore this way? Skeletons. So yeah. I ain't really got much to add, really. God, it's just gorgeous, isn't it? I love this game's... aesthetics.
Zion used to be a place of peace, you know. Daniel says that it is holy in the eyes of the Father. I hope someday you will see it as it was.
Yeah, like, even if the graphical fidelity
You
isn't
leave me no choice.
great.
You leave me no choice.
Right. Yeah, the graphical fidelity isn't great. The sheer graphical power isn't fantastic. But the style is beautiful. I remember once being told on VGR, you know, PS1 graphics did not have visual style because that was the limitations of the time. So of course they did. You're telling me that Super Mario 64 and Spyro and Croc and... No, let's do it another way. Do Metal Gear Solid and Crash Bandicoot look identical? No. Yes, they have similar limitations, but they are not the same game. Yeah, but they don't begin to look like the same game.
You leave me no choice. Yield. My attacks are doing nothing.
Why am I using the 10mm anyway? Oh dear. I don't even know how to get up there, but I'm sure that'll come another day. Where am I actually going anyway? Morning Glory Cave. To find the grand staircase, okay. So... yeah. It's like, of course graphical style has always been around. Even when graphics were barely a consideration. You know, Pong and Pitfall are two separate looking games. You know? Because the art direction... because, again, your style informs your gameplay. Things have to look different enough. You've got to be able to understand the differences. And yeah, sometimes you got to use your imagination to fill in the blanks.
Zion used to be a place
Even in today's games.
Daniel said that it was holy in the eyes of the Father. I hope someday you will see it likewise.
Yeah, sometimes you still need a bit of imagination. But it works. I wish I could just play the entire game here. I really do. In fact, let's just play Mass Effect. I'll record Mass Effect and you watch that and I'll just stay here. Because we are nearing the time of the Mass Effect Let's Play. So I think I should maybe talk about that. I'm going to be playing as FemShep, so female shepherd. Probably going to do a Paragon. I don't like Renegade. And, you know, when there's only 8% of players who actually did, for the entirety of... Oh, hello. Mute again. And when only 8% of players did, You can sort of imagine why. Survivalists hidden caches. Okay. There's quite a few here. Year 2108. August 2nd. 10 sets of tracks, half a mile, northeast of canyon entrance. Barefoot. August 23rd. Saw them through scope. Corpses walking around. Finally gone crazy. Dementia maybe. August 24th. I'm not crazy, they're real. God damn it, they're real. Rushed me the moment they saw me, snarling like animals. Not like corpses, but don't smell rotted. I've been putting them down to their misery. Doing for them what I never could for myself. September the 3rd. The last of them. All gone. Year 2113. Happy birthday to me, happy birthday to me, happy birthday to you. This is all down, so happy birthday to me. Happy 60th. What do you get every man knows everything? A bottle of whiskey and a 12-gauge slug through the roof of the mouth? Woo! Come now. What do I have to do to prove myself I've lived long enough? A shriveled old man, white beard, sitting enough sunrises. Saw the big sunset. Been hanging around for the last 36... the long night, 36 years now. Ridiculous. Not kidding myself into thinking there's anything on the other side of this. Fine. Things weren't so bad when I was born. Char and Alex, Sylvia and Michael, who could have been. Thoughts of the beloved before dying. Goodbye, Zion. February the 6th. Fucking didn't do it as usual. Card as usual. There were 2 balls next year. 21-23. April 25th. 24 of them. Half boys, half girls. Youngest is 8 maybe. Oldest 13 or 14. Dirty and scrawny, been afoot a long time. Yeah, for a long time. Children's Crusade. Struck camp on nearly the same spot as Los Mexicanos. 30 years and a lifetime ago. I spent 2 nights listening to them. English, literate. One of them reads stories while the little ones fall asleep. They escaped some place called the school. I can't figure out where that was. Whether they went to a little one to behave. Tell him to stop, or the principal will get you. Principal been in a shop, will blow his goddamn head off. I can still shoot straight. Ah. Well.
We should not be here. This place, it belongs to the Father in the caves. We must not profane it with our touch. The Father in the caves, the Holy Father who gave the Sorrows his succor and gave the new Canaanites his son. Many of the caves around the valley are sacred to him, and those who would trespass are punished by holy wrath. I understand. I would prefer to leave as soon as possible, though.
Okay. Wonder if it's all about Noonan. Ewok hummus.
Stay cautious.
Gonna paint a Len face on the moon. How the fuck do you get around this place? Start torture and find out. Yeah, so out of like the 3 classes you can start with, which are Hmm. I still want to look around though. We've got that thing, but I want to know if this father chap's still there. Yeah, so out of the 3 classes there are in the game, you've got Soldier, Engineer, and Psionic, or whatever it is. So Soldier, fairly simply, you use firearms.
It is good to travel with them. I spend so long scouting on my own.
Like, you're the best firearm user.
I forget what human company is like.
So you're the best firearm user, all your skills basically revolve around using guns and grenades. Don't think we've discovered anything else here. I wonder if this guy was brother to Steel. I don't think it's Elijah. I just remember I'll meet this guy. The 6th and final survivalist cache. So yeah, so you've got the soldier, good with guns, you've got the engineer, who can like hack into things and yeah, good at hacking into like supply crates and things like that, lockers, all the rest of it. What's cool as well is psionics. So psionics are basically magic powers in the sci-fi setting. Yeah. That was going at me then. Good. So yeah, so like, you can kill things with your mind and throw people across the room, which is cool.
I'm glad to see you're still with us.
Or hold them in a bubble.
How can I help you?
Yeah, there's some really cool stuff with Sonics, but not entirely my cup of tea. Like, I think it's much more useful of me to be an engineer out of all the classes. I checked on everything in the valley and got them out of the grand staircase.
I appreciate it. Well, that's it. This is all we need. Now all that's left is to quietly pack up and try to get out of here without being noticed. That's assuming that Joshua won't try to stop me. And that he hasn't talked you into fighting the Whitelegs despite what I've said. Don't worry, I don't hold it against you. You're an outsider. Fighting seems like the practical solution. I'll tell you again. There's more at stake.
No going back. Whether you decide whether the Shadows should fight or flee, your decision will set their destiny irrevocably in motion. You will be unable to finish any remaining quests in Zion once you make a decision, so choose wisely.
Even our Lord had doubts. Think it over. Listen to your heart. And do it quickly. We don't have much time.
Let's go for red resistance. Red resistance is good. I don't think we've got any more quests to do here. I would like to talk very quickly to Joshua Graham if I can. I want to talk to him. Yeah, I talk to you too. I want to see him do his thingy. No, he ain't coming back. Okay, that's alright. So I believe the Saurus should fight. Are they sparring? I think so. Right. I'm not actually going to shoot my partner here. I'm just tabbing out. Is he down there? There we go. We haven't got any more quests, so the only thing left to do is
Unless you
explore.
and Joshua have any objections, I'd like to start evacuating the Sorrows. I'm going to need your help, so say your piece.
I think Joshua's alright, we should find the wildlings.
No. Why? Why? Haven't you seen enough of what's going on here to see that the Sorrows don't need to butcher the Whitelegs for a piece of land? What Joshua wants is more than an attack. He wants a slaughter. And the Sorrows can't be pushed into this. You and Joshua don't have the right to force them into it. Please, consider what I'm saying.
And you have the right to pull them off the land?
I've already explained to them that we're leaving. They've accepted it. What is Joshua going to tell them about being a warrior? What are you going to tell them about how to live with themselves after they got lost in the moment, killed someone who didn't deserve to die? Or does that not matter? Is that just an acceptable consequence if it means holding on to this valley? Maybe there is no place left in this world for mercy. But even if it tramples me into the dust, I will never accept it. And I will never condone it. Joshua must be waiting for you. I'll stay here with the others as I told them I would.
Okay.
Thank you for this. I know Daniel doesn't approve, but destroying the Whitelegs is the only way to ensure the Sorrows can remain in Zion. You and I will lead a group of Dead Horse warriors and Sorrows hunters into 3 Marys from this position. Our objective is to find the Whitelegs leader, Salt upon Wounds, and prevent him from fleeing. Show no quarter to the Whitelegs we come across. Make no mistake about why we are here. This is an extermination. God be with you.
Okay, well, the Canaanite perk. Any 45 caliber pistol you I'm not using 45. Or should I? No, sorry. Oh, no, mind, I actually do. Yeah, that was easy. Nice. So the reason why I'm siding with Graham is because while Daniel has a very optimistic view and a very good one, like, I don't know what this other land looks like, and if it's really all that good for them. Not to mention as well, the Whitelegs can come after them. You know? Things might get worse. Not to mention as well, guys are... At least, it's not yet recognised that he is dead, but the Legion still lives on.
The time for talk is past. The Lord's work must be done.
My curse is stuck there for some reason. Hang on. There we go, sorry about that. But yeah. The White successfully joined Caesar's Legion. It's spells doom for the rest of the world. And who knows what they'll do to the dead horses and the sorrows. But none of it is going to be good. Yeah, I would like to have seen some more of Graham's dialogue, because I should have talked to him earlier if I will have to reload a save, and just sort of talk about like how he became who he is. Otherwise, this expansion is over very quickly. Yeah, there's way too many things that kind of just like make this expansion a lot less good than it is. It's so easy to do that as well. Yeah. It's too easy to overlook all of the good parts of this expansion if you just waltz through it, which is easy to do. I don't even know where Graham's gone. Yeah. Because you get to learn about Joshua Graham and the Burnman and, you know, talk about Caesar and all the rest of it. It's all very fascinating and worth hearing, but it's so easy to just go, okay, right, off to do this next quest. And you might not be able to, as we've demonstrated there, it's like, it's difficult to sort of like find where Joshua Graham is afterwards. This ain't gonna work. These things are fucking nimble, aren't they? Right, seriously, what? Oh, but it's poison, isn't it? I'll take an antidote just so that doesn't keep happening. Okay, so it looks like we're gonna go up there again. how we get... Oh god, is this one of those moments where like I've taken the shortcut and it was the worst idea possible? Then again, there were guards down there. I'm gonna follow the water. Take me to the river. So yeah. What else what's going on? We're gonna go on in Mass Effect. I think that's really about it for like character creation. Yeah, play Femme Chat. And Legion banner. Yeah, they've got what's coming.
Oladu Sagasi. The time for talk has passed. The Lord's work must be done. This is where the road ends. This is taking too long. We can't let salt upon wounds escape. I'm going to find a way around. God willing, we will finish this together.
Okay, so they blew the exit out. Also, yeah, like with Mass Effect, it'll be the Legendary Edition, so I've not played that version before. So we'll see how that goes. I have my fingers crossed for it. I plan on doing all the DLC, I plan on doing all the Mako stuff as well. So that's surveying the planets, so that will be long and tedious. But it's fun for me to do. And like, look, I might actually just say, you know what, I'm not going to bother filming this part. You know, I'll see you in the next and I'll just do that. Unless there's content to do. Because, well, do you really want to watch that? I mean, it's a chance for me to waffle on about gaming news, but yeah. And like, I don't say enough, but like, if you guys have got any questions for me about me or anything like that, you know, please feel free to ask. When I play these games, because I want to try and make the experience good for you as well. But yeah. It's not so I have to go back in the cave, is it? No, I have to go this way. I'm just making stuff for the sake of making it. Let's go.
Good.
That's all I need to do as well. I need to pickpocket 50 people. So I might do that before the next expansion. Shouldn't be too hard, just get a stealth boy, just go around Vegas. Oh, with Karen. Yeah, so Honest Arts is like one of my favourite expansions for New Vegas, just because it's so straightforward, but even then, a lot of the straightforwardness that comes from this is like me missing vital bits of it, which is not good. Because my favourite parts are Joshua Graham. Owen Graham speaking. And obviously I've skipped those parts by accident. Because like this is his expansion. That's his sole reason. It's his sole reason for being here. You want to know about the Burn Man. You want to see his side of things, and yeah. We got prisoners, nice. See, I don't know if you can support Caesar Legion. I don't know if you can support the White Legs. Other than just, like, you know, shooting Joshua Graham. So we're here at the end, I think.
We warned you at Syracuse, and you persisted. You took advantage of us at New Canaan to drive us out. And like the dogs of Caesar you are, you followed us to Zion. And now you stand on holy ground, a temple to God's glory on earth. The only use for an animal in our temple is sacrifice. Kale wachene conserva o. You understand me, don't you? Don't you?
Outman. Kunaman mad. He killed all White Legs. You talk. You stop.
Cheerful cup of the cookie.
Him hear you. You talk.
Don't listen to this thing. His cries are those of a mad beast caught in a thicket. He gave no mercy to my family, and I will give none to his.
Roger, you've already won. Look around you, there's no need to kill him. I'm sorry about this, gang. I keep skipping it dialogue. I do apologise. It's a habit. I constantly press the buttons. Right. Let's save the game. And let's start march on.
We warned you at Syracuse, and you persisted. You took advantage of us at New Canaan to drive us out. And like the dogs of Caesar you are, you followed us to Zion.
Nice lamp over there.
And now you stand on holy ground, a temple to God's glory on earth.
Oh, it's grim.
The only use for an animal in our temple is sacrifice.
Being lured off the cliffs.
Kale wachene conserva o. You understand me, don't you?
I think. Are they bodies or is it just rock?
Outman.
Don't listen to this thing. His cries are those of a
Yeah,
mad
that's why I'm
beast
silent
caught in a
time.
thicket. He gave no mercy.
Okay, we've seen that, right?
He has a debt to pay for what he's done, and I've come to collect. And so he's chosen to cower in the water like a dumb animal.
If you believe this is true, he'll pay for it later. So I still need to see you do this.
I want to take from them what they took from me, from my family. In this life, I want them to suffer. I want all of them to die in fear and pain. I want to have my revenge. Against him. Against Caesar. I want to call it my own. To make my anger God's anger. To justify the things I've done. Sometimes I tell myself that these wildfires never stop burning. But I'm the one who starts them. Not God. Not them. I can always see it in my mind. The warmth and the heat. It will always be a part of me. But not today. Go. Get out of here. Go back. Back to the Great Salt Lake. That's it. It's finished. Thank you for staying with me. I couldn't have done this on my own. Let's go find Daniel. Tomorrow we'll be here soon. And there is much to do.
Phew, what to do? I think I'm going to want to go for that one, to be honest, entomologist. It's going to come in handy later.
And so it was that the conflict between the New Canaanites and the Whitelegs was finally resolved. The courier's involvement had tipped the scale, shifting the fragile balance of power.
Demoralized by the dead horse and Sorrow's attack the courier and Joshua Graham led against them, the Whitelegs retreated to Great Salt Lake. Their days were numbered. Word soon reached the 80s tribe that the Whiteleg spirit was broken. Their war chief a dim shadow of his former self. By year's end, the 80s would overrun the Whitelegs camps, scattering the tribe to the winds and claiming the Great Salt Lake for its own.
The Sorrows fought beside Joshua Graham and the dead horses, eradicating the threat the Whitelegs posed to Zion. Seeing the courier convince Joshua Graham to spare Salt upon wounds, the Sorrows learned that retribution could be tempered by mercy. Though he despaired at the Sorrows' loss of innocence, Daniel took some small consolation in the courier's lesson, and prayed it would take root.
Having helped eradicate the Whitelegs from Zion, the dead horses returned to Dead Horse Point in triumph. They remained neutral toward the Sorrows, but as years went on, there were periods of competitive friction, even violence between the tribes. The New Canaanites, Daniel especially, intervened regularly as mediators, but found it difficult to reconcile the tribes' conflicts.
The defeat of the Whitelegs in Zion marked a turning point in the fortunes of the Happy Trails Caravan Company. Every 2 months, the caravan met with the New Canaanites in Zion Valley to trade. Happy Trails soon returned to prosperity. The vigilance of the Sorrows and dead horses in defending southwestern Utah, initially startling to Happy Trails caravans, soon proved a blessing. The tribes united against the 80s, driving them back from Highway 50, and thus opening yet another trading route for Happy Trails caravans.
The threat of the Whitelegs ended. Joshua Graham helped the Sorrows and dead horses tend to their fallen comrades and secure Zion. The courier's words had stayed Joshua's wrath in his darkest hour, and in sparing Salt upon wounds, he was changed. While he continued to advocate militant opposition to the enemies of New Canaan, he sometimes showed quarter to those who crossed his family. Eventually, this new spirit would diminish the myth of the burned man in distant lands. A small price for the peace, it brought to Joshua Graham.
For years after the defeat of the Whitelegs, Daniel did his best to minister to the Sorrow's spiritual needs. Try as he might, he could not hold back the tribe's increasing militancy and reverence of Joshua Graham. Demoralized, he returned to his family and Dead Horse Point. His failures haunted him for the rest of his days.
And with that, the courier walked out of the history of the tribes of Zion and back to the gathering storm of the Mojave Wasteland.
Lights shining in the darkness. Chalk's headrest, Daniel's hat, Daniel's outfit, Joshua Graham's armor, Sullivan Wood's helmet, and scripture. There you have it. So because now this is something that Obsidian recognised, that because they knew that people would want Joshua Graham's armor, they made sure that they could give it to you. So then that you yeah. So you didn't feel the need to kill Graham for his gear. Because they knew that, like, if players want gear, they'll take it. And here we are in Zion Valley. I wonder if we could talk to Joshua Graham. Nice to know that we can come back here. He's not showing up on my minimap. Well, no one's showing up on my minimap right now. I don't know where to find him. Like, I know sometimes he has a wander around, but I'll see if I can find him having a wander. Hopefully I can catch him. But otherwise I can always reload and say we can have a look at the dialogue, because that's kind of the point of doing this expansion. Honest Art is great on it, well it's good on its own, but it's made great by Graham. I'm just hoping I can spot him. No, we can't. I can have all that. I'm not interested in a wild goose chase. Let's load an older save. See if we can find. There we go.
Welcome back. What can I do for you?
Like, I also, like, for Magic the Gathering, I wanted for a playmat Joshua Graham doing the whole thing with his guns. I was talking to like a ranger, you know, like NCR ranger, all the riot gear. Let's talk about this. Caesar's dead. I thought to her personally. I thought you also know.
I have to admit, it's hard to believe that even after all he did to me, All he tried to do to find and erase me from this world. He went first. No doubt this will be good for the Mojave. I can only hope Arizona and the tribes don't suffer as the Legion falls apart around them.
They won't. I'll make sure the Legion is allowed to go home with. You don't think the News can lead the Legion?
I think only Caesar can lead the Legion. I've never met anyone who could take his place. I couldn't. I never had a mind for logistics. I don't know Linnaeus, but from what I've heard, he has no interest in leading anyone, unless it's in battle. No. The Legion dies with Caesar. What follows now are just the last steps of a man who does not yet realize that he's walking dead.
Let's talk about God.
I am a new Canaanite. We believe we are the heirs of a spiritual tradition given to our ancestors thousands of years ago. We have made and kept covenants with our Lord God to honor his laws. In exchange, we are promised eternal salvation after this life. A day will come when our Lord returns to judge us all. Until then, we must honor his laws and start others along the path of salvation if we can. That's why we trade with others and work the tribes. We have more than food and medicine to offer. Good news is our most valuable commodity. In a world filled with misery and uncertainty, it is a great comfort to know that, in the end, there is light in the darkness. Every day we move closer to our judgment. We must do our best to walk in the footsteps of our Lord and teach others how to do the same. For many of us, the road is a difficult one, but the path is always there for us to follow, no matter how many times we may fall. Every day. Some days are harder than others. In the Great Basin and Colorado Plateau, all tribes are known for a specific weapon. Whitelegs are known for their big submachine guns, storm drums. They broke into an armory near Spanish Fork and have been using them for years. Of course, the dead horses have their wooden war clubs, and even the Sorrows have their Yao Guai gauntlets. This type of .45 automatic pistol was designed by one of my tribe almost 400 years ago. Learning its use is a new Canaanite rite of passage. I wouldn't say that. I am the acting war chief for the Dead Horses. They look up to me for such matters, but I only have the authority they give me. Daniel is the spiritual leader and main link of the new Canaanites to the Sorrows. He's up in the Narrows right now.
What's going on with these tribes?
A great deal. There are 3, make that 4, tribes here in Zion. You've already met the Whitelegs on the way in. In this camp, you'll find dead horses. In the Narrows, the Sorrows. And finally, there's Daniel and myself. We're new Canaanites. They attack everyone who isn't a Whiteleg, especially caravans. They don't know how to survive on their own, so they have to raid. But as for why they are here, they are trying to wipe us out. All of us. They want to join Caesar's legion, and they can only prove their worth by destroying the new Canaanites and everyone we shelter. Most don't. It's been hundreds of years since the war. They've developed their own languages. Take the Dead Horses. We think they were originally refugees from a place called Rez, east of the Grand Canyon. They speak a combination of Rez and a language spoken by travelers who were visiting Rez when the bombs fell. Over time, the 2 languages blended. I was a translator years ago, but it's hard to keep up with all of the tribal variations.
The Joshua Graham is... So, if I may interrupt for a moment, if I may talk about it in this one here, how the new Canaanites are really a tribe. Joshua Graham and the man now known as Caesar, or Kaiser, were actually part of the followers of the apocalypse. And they would go around, introduce themselves to the different tribes, and teach them medicine, literature, and, well, Caesar taught them warfare. Joshua Graham, in this instance, would probably been like the literacy guy. And yeah, I think it was like the Blackfoot tribe that was like the first to fall. And so they sort of like taught them how, or they were captured by the Blackfoot and they were taught how to do this stuff, and they went to war. And Joshua Graham was sort of swept into this. He didn't really want to become part of a war band, but he realised that this is the best opportunity we're going to get to live. So he did. And, well, the rest is history and, to an extent, myth. Does the valley belong to the dead horses?
The valley belongs to God, but no. The dead horses live at Dead Horse Point, up the Colorado River. They came here because I asked them to. Before I returned to the fold, I visited them years earlier. I looked much different then, but I left an impression on them. I taught them how to hunt more efficiently, how to maintain their weapons and pre-war equipment. When I returned, they showed their appreciation.
Haven't I seen any sorrows? Why haven't I seen any sorrows on the valley?
The Sorrows have many skilled hunters among them, but no warriors. They have not had to deal with war or raiders for decades. Even though they can hunt a full-grown Yaoguai, they don't know how to deal with the Whitelegs. That's why we're here.
The new Canaanites really a tribe.
We wear more clothing than them and understand more about technology. But we're still a tribe, a linked family of families. The Boneyard, Phoenix, New Vegas, they're just places, metal and stone. New Canaan dies, but the tribe lives on. When the walls come tumbling down, when you lose everything you have, you always have family. And your family always has tribe. Of course.
Can I ask you some personal questions?
Right now, I'd like you to focus on helping Daniel. Maybe there will be time later.
Okay, we can let that save it later.
Caesar would never admit this openly, but he knows that I'm alive. I've killed enough of his Frumentari and assassins that have come looking. I've heard one of them travels the Mojave as a courier. Most of Caesar's agents meet a fitting end in NCR territory, but maybe this one survived. God be with you.
Let's see if we can go back a bit.
By the rivers of Babylon, remember,
Yeah, we've
O
said
daughter of Bab, happy. Welcome back. What can I do for you?
What did you say about Korea? Who are you expecting?
Caesar would...
Yeah. Okay. What do you know about Saltpon wounds?
He's a butcher. Believe me, I know the godless fire that burns in his heart. I've been burned by it myself. He's not the kind to let his subordinates do all the killing. No, he likes to have a hand in it, with that spear of his. He's fashioned himself an abomination before the eyes of the Lord. I'm happy to serve as an instrument of divine justice.
Ask you some personal questions?
It's not something I enjoy, but I pray to God that someone may learn from my mistakes. What would you like to know?
Are you in much pain? Is there anything I can do to help?
You are kind to offer, but no, there's nothing you can do. We don't use chems, but I learned long ago that I'm immune to their effects. It never stops burning. My skin. Every day I have to unwind the bandages and replace them with fresh ones. Exposing my body to the air is like living through it again. But it's better to be clean than comfortable. It's not...
You always with the New Canaanites?
I was born in Ogden, what people came to call New Canaan. Things were more peaceful when I was growing up. When I was a young man, I went out into the world to do missionary work, as all New Canaanites do. I traveled along the Long 15 and followed 89 south into Arizona. Along the way, I met two men from a group called the Followers of the Apocalypse. Edward Sallow and Bill Calhoun. They came to teach the tribes. Calhoun was a good man. Edward was the one who got us into trouble down the road. No, not then. Back then he was just Edward. Smart man. Young, but we all were. We thought we could hike into the Grand Canyon and talk to Blackfoots. We did. And the Blackfoots were friendly enough at first. But eventually... I've thought back to that day so many times. I must have mistranslated. Something must have been mixed up, because the Blackfoots decided we weren't going to leave. The rest is history, assuming Edward hasn't changed it. This way lies the path to hell. Caesar needed me to translate. Translation became giving orders. Giving orders became leading in battle. Leading in battle became training, punishing, terrorizing. A series of small mistakes before a great fall. And I stayed in that darkness until after Hoover Dam. After I failed Caesar and he had me burned alive, thrown into the Grand Canyon. I survived because the fire inside burned brighter than the fire around me. I fell down into that dark chasm. The flame burned on and on. The next morning, I woke up and crawled out of the northern edge of the Grand Canyon, that cursed place. It took me 3 months to reach New Canaan. It was as though the prodigal son had returned. They welcomed me like I had never left, never done anything to shame them. The fire that had kept me alive was love. Their love. God's love. I will never be able to repay the debt I owe to them, but I must try. I try not to involve myself with matters of the Mojave anymore. All I know is from before the Battle of Hoover Dam. Better than Caesar, but that's not a high standard. Too much love of money and ownership. Not enough love of God and giving. Any society that derives its power and authority from the will of man alone lives apart from God and will crumble in the end. I had heard of him, but when we were preparing to enter the Mojave, he didn't seem relevant to what was happening. From what I've learned since Hoover Dam, he handled the Mojave tribes in a fashion not entirely dissimilar from Caesar. It's too bad. Love the sinner, hate the sin. With Caesar, it's often very difficult to see through all of that sin to the person inside. I can say that we were both lucky that NCR's supply lines and land routes north of Mojave Outpost were destroyed before the Battle of Hoover Dam. Something bad happened near Death Valley, at a place called the Divide. NCR couldn't cut across anymore, and it slowed down the reinforcements. Terrible storms ripped entire companies apart before they even got to Nevada soil. The aftermath of Hoover Dam could have been even worse for Caesar.
The Divide?
I don't know for certain, and I don't think NCR knows either. Whatever happened at the Divide was too much for them to handle. Our Frumentari told us what they saw. Only fools and madmen would march into a place like that. All roads wind down to the same spot. The grave. They said all that's left there is a gaping wound cut into the earth. Cursed and damned. No place for God-fearing folk. Not all of them, but they couldn't take 127 North to get around the mountains. As if Death Valley weren't enough, they had the Divide and Big Empty to deal with. From what the Legion's explorers reported, the Big Empty may as well have been a wall to any living thing approaching it.
And that's... that right there is the reason why this expansion is so incredible. Graham's explanations of everything going on in the Wasteland. Mojave and Zion. Now, we could have explored a bit more, but I think I'm kind of done, to be honest. I would normally look through all that stuff, but I'm a bit too tired at the moment. So what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to call it quits there. And then we'll get ready for Old World Blues, the next DLC. Which I think is just by Prim. Yep. But we'll see about that later. So, thank you ever so much for watching. Take care. I appreciate this has been a shorter episode. And that, yeah, I probably could have wrapped it up in the last one. But now I had other things I had to get on with in the day, I'm afraid. With D&D and whatnot. So, yeah. But thank you ever so much for watching. Take care. Ta-ta for now. And I'll see you in the Old World Blues.